Hey, this is Cody, and I'm going to share my rebalancing calculator Excel spreadsheet, which is a template for you to customize to help clients implement their trades moving forward. So I created this calculator for two reasons. One is to help clients implement in real time together, so they share their screen, log into their custodian, and I bring up this spreadsheet so it can easily understand what trades to make, in terms of buying, selling, and also avoiding the tax consequences, which we'll get to in a moment. But second, I wanted to create a calculator that I could provide to clients so that moving forward, they can rebalance and reallocate their investments by themselves and manage their own money successfully. As a reminder, the clients I work with have the time, the temperament, and the talent to manage their own trades, but they hire me to help them plan and understand which trades to make. Before we get into the rebalancing section, you'll see at the very top left, checking and savings. So this is the cash within bank accounts, outside of taxable brokerage accounts and retirement accounts. The reason you type in your cash across your bank accounts and checking and savings is on the right side here, you'll see these additional reports. We have total portfolio asset allocation, a detailed version. It also has a basic version, which breaks down just US stock, foreign stock, bonds, and cash, which is my preference. And to the right of that, the total portfolio tax location, understanding the weights between taxable, pre-tax, and tax-free investments. You'll notice that every cell without a color is fully customizable, and every cell with a color has a formula tied to it. So please avoid typing anything into the colored cells since this is fully unlocked. So naturally, with $10,000 in cash, that's 100% allocation of the account totaling $10,000. Moving down to the taxable brokerage account, you'll notice here across the columns there are desired, current, action, and future cells. So I'm going to go left to right to help you understand how the calculator works. The first thing you'll do is type in the investment ticker and also the asset category. This could include investments they already own and also the investments that you want to buy moving forward. In this fairly basic example, I've put US large, mid, small, foreign developed stocks, emerging, bonds, and cash. And of course, you can customize this, removing rows or adding rows, depending on how complex the investments are or what you'd like them to become. In this example with a taxable brokerage account, let's assume an 80-20 portfolio. So I'm going to put some examples of what we might put in those asset categories, just as examples, not advice. You can see here that once these allocations total 100%, you'll no longer have the red warning here. Once you've entered your desired allocation, including the ticker and asset categories, then you'll enter the current balance of each of those investments. Once you enter the balance of each investment individually, you'll see the total account balance below, which you can reference to ensure it matches the actual account. In the next column, allocation, you'll see the division as a percentage of the balance of the investment into the total balance of the account. In this example, you'll see that the current allocation is different from the desired allocation. Before we go into the trade actions, you'll see the cash position is so important. The current balance is $20,000, and on the right side here, before you look at the trades, enter how much cash you'd like remaining after the trade is completed. In this example, there's currently a $20,000 cash position, but they want to fully invest that cash. And likewise, you can increase the amount of cash that you want in the portfolio after the trades are complete. Once you've typed in your desired allocation, your current balances, and desired cash after trading, you can head to the action columns to understand the trades that it's telling you to implement. You can see that this action section has trades with sale and also trades without sale. The trades with sale column assume that you're going to be able to sell any of these investments without having to worry about tax consequences. In this example of trades with sale, you're going to sell some US large, US small, and put the cash to work since these are all negative numbers, and purchase US mid, foreign developed, foreign emerging, and bonds. If you were to make all of these trades with sale, then if you move over to the right side, you can see the future balance with sales on the right side here. Since you don't want any cash after rebalancing, you can see that the future allocation with those sales and trades will be the same as your desired on the left side. This next section is a bit more complicated because it assumes you don't want to sell anything, only purchase. This helps you avoid any realized capital gains that were unintended. You can see that the trades with the sale included selling US large, US small, and putting the cash to work, whereas the trades without sale assume that none of that was sold, and of course the cash is still put to work. Understanding that you're not going to sell any investments, it still needs to make sure that all the cash is respectively put back to work. This middle column, percentage of cash, is something that you don't really have to look at, but it's showing the formula of how it understood how much of that $20,000 to put to work across the remaining investments that it's purchasing. In this example, 1.4% of the $20,000 cash position will be put into US mid, 37.2% of it will be put into foreign developed, 16.9% into foreign emerging, and 44.4% into bonds. You can see that if you add all these up together, they should equal 100%. By purchasing investments with the cash but not selling anything that was overweight, you'll notice the balance and the allocation without the sale will not be perfectly allocated, but it will move you closer to the desired allocation. For example, the bonds had a desired allocation of 20%, the current allocation was 12%, and by rebalancing and putting most of that cash into the bond position, we're now at a 19% allocation. To check your work between current and future balances, you'll notice that all of these numbers should be the same. Now I'm going to share an example of rather than putting cash to work, let's say that you had no cash in the account, but you wanted to be able to withdraw $20,000 of cash from the account. If you are allowing investments to be sold, you can see the trades with sale include selling a lot of the US large and also actually overselling so you can purchase to dynamically rebalance back to the desired allocation. But you'll notice that trading without the sale, you're actually unable to get the $20,000 cash that you need. This total sell in red under future balance without sale is telling you that it's not possible to gain cash without selling something. You might be wondering, what about investments that have an unrealized capital loss? When I'm helping clients reallocate or rebalance their taxable brokerage accounts, we typically sell anything with an unrealized capital loss, and then we go into the calculator to type in the current balances, including the cash that was freed up to reinvest. So moving across all of those columns once more to show the formulas, we have your desired allocation for each ticker and asset category, the current balance of each investment, the current allocation, which you can see is the balance of that investment divided by the total account balance. You'll also notice that this is a fixed reference. That's why you see the dollar sign in front of the letter and the dollar sign in front of the number. If you go to the right bottom corner of the cell, you can simply drag this down to apply that same formula to each cell, but with that fixed reference, with D22 in this example. The next column, trades with sale, is showing what the desired balance would be of that investment minus the current balance of the investment. And again, with that cell, you can simply go to the bottom right and scroll down to apply that formula to all of them. In the next action column, called percentage of cash, this formula is a little bit more complex, as you can see here. What looks like a more detailed calculation is simply telling the calculator, if it's telling me an investment should be purchased, what percentage of the cash available should be allocated to that specific investment. We can see in this example that we have $20,000 of cash to invest. We're not going to sell any investment that's overweight, but we can see that 1.4% of the 20,000, which is 289.86, will be used to purchase US mid, and the same calculation with foreign developed, foreign emerging, and bonds. Since we don't have enough cash to fully rebalance, this will allocate the cash to those investments to get as close as possible to your desired allocation. And here's the formula for the trades without sale column, which takes the percentage of cash and applies it to the available cash position. Again, you'll notice that some of these cells have a fixed reference, so be careful when customizing with additional rows. The percentage of cash column can simply be dragged all the way down, and this cell for trades without sale can be dragged down, but be very careful not to drag it through the cash, so just above the cash. And then below, you'll keep the cash where it is. This bottom cell under trades without sale is simply how much cash you want remaining minus how much cash you currently have available. The next cell for balance with sale will be the current account balance minus how much cash you want remaining multiplied by the desired allocation for that investment. Again, this can be dragged down just above the cash position. The future allocation with sale is simply the future balance with sale divided by the future account balance. This one can be dragged down all the way. Again, keeping in mind that some cells have a fixed reference with that dollar sign before the letter and the number. The last columns, balance without sale and allocation without sale, are actually pretty simple. It takes the current balance and adds the trade to it, and then again, a percentage of the future balance divided into the future account balance. Both of these formulas can be dragged down all the way. Thankfully, that's the most complex part of the calculator, and now we move on to the pre-tax and tax-free retirement accounts, which are actually set up exactly the same as each other. Since we're not worried about realized capital gains within these tax-deferred retirement accounts, we don't have to worry about all that complexity in the middle. For the pre-tax retirement account, let's go ahead and set up a 60-40 portfolio. Again, you'll see once it's 100% total, the red will go away. Again, you'll have your ticker and asset category, and you'll type in the current balances. In this example, there is no cash available within the pre-tax retirement account, but they would like to withdraw $50,000. This calculator simply tells you what to sell, and what to buy. And the current balances once you've made those trades. And by the way, once you take the $50,000 out of the account after trading, the allocation will be perfectly aligned with your desired allocation. And lastly, filling out the Roth retirement account, let's say this is 100% equity, you'll notice that you can even add allocations that you want to be zero if they have a current balance. I'll enter those current balances. And this investor does not want any cash available after the trade. So this investor has $10,000 in bonds and $15,000 in cash that they want to fully invest into equity with a 0% allocation over here for bonds and a $0 future balance for their cash. Again, this is a very simple calculation saying to sell all the bonds, put all the cash to work, and here are the exact purchases of all the equity. To get to the perfect allocation on the right side, that should perfectly align with the allocation on the left side. In the templated spreadsheet, we have our checking and savings, taxable brokerage account, pre-tax retirement accounts, and tax-free retirement accounts. But you have full permission to add as many accounts as you'd like. For example, we could simply take this taxable brokerage account, copy it, and insert copy cells, but with a warning that if you add multiple accounts, you'll have to go across and notice that some cells with these fixed references must be changed. In this example for taxable brokerage account, this fixed reference needs to be changed to this cell instead. And on Mac, I press Command T, press Enter, and then scroll that down. Under percentage of cash, you'll notice the fixed references here need to change from F14 to F29, which is the first row, going through F35, which is the last row. Press Enter, then you'll have to scroll that all the way down. In this Trades Without Sale column, you'll notice a reference here, which is the current cash position, so change that to here. Again, Command T, and then here, your desired future cash position here, and make that a fixed reference. You'll scroll this one only to the one before last, not including the cash. The cash should stay the same. The balance with sale should take the current total account balance here minus the desired future cash, again referenced. Scroll that to the one before last and don't change the cash. The future allocation with sale will change that reference from up here to down here. Scroll that all the way down. The future without sale won't have to change at all, but the future allocation without sale will need to reference the future total account down here instead of up there. Referenced and scrolled all the way down. With those changes to the reference cells, we've now fully duplicated the taxable brokerage account for full customization. And you can do the same with the pre-tax retirement accounts and the Roth tax-free retirement accounts. Understanding there are fixed references under the current allocation tab, the future balance tab, and the future allocation tab. Once you've entered all of your data for all of your accounts, you can scroll to the right side and going across these columns, starting with total portfolio asset allocation detailed, I've listed all of the asset categories that are included in the calculator on the left. You can see here that I've summed all of the balances. So for example, for US large, I've summed the US large from the taxable brokerage account, the current balance, from the pre-tax current balance, and from the tax-free current balance. So you can sum all the cells for each asset category. It'll show that as a percentage of your total portfolio across all accounts. And in the green, we can also sum the future balances with sale. So this includes with selling within the taxable brokerage account or without selling within the taxable brokerage account. Again, all of these totals for the total portfolio should be the same number. And if they're not equal, you'll notice a red highlight. For example, like that. I've also included a more basic version of the total portfolio asset allocation, breaking up the US large, mid, small into US stock, the foreign developed and emerging into foreign stock, the bonds still at bonds, and the cash still at cash. So the current balance and allocation, and then the future balances allocation with and without the sales within the taxable brokerage account. And then lastly, a breakdown of taxable, pre-tax, and tax-free accounts as a dollar amount and as a percentage weight of the total portfolio. If you highlight all three of these, it should sum 100%. You'll notice there are no future cells under tax location since the money is not moving between accounts. I hope you enjoy fully customizing this calculator, either for your own use, to work in real time with a client directly, or to provide for clients to implement their own trades moving forward. If you are sharing a calculator with clients, just be sure to add a clear disclosure at the top.